In today's video, I'm going to tell you 10 things that you don't know about me. Welcome to the 24th day of 2018 Vlogmas. Welcome everybody, I'm Dr. Melissa Gallagher, and if you are new to my channel, welcome. You're going to be getting a little tidbit of information about me that a lot of my channel viewers don't know. If you are a regular viewer, welcome back. This has been such an exciting Vlogmas season. It's my first time doing Vlogmas, and today is our 24th video. We have one more, and tomorrow's is going to be a fun one as well, because I'm answering a ton of questions about how I actually got into doing what I'm doing. But today, I'm going to share with you 10 pieces and little tidbits of info that you probably don't know about me. Number one, my middle name is Renee. Number two, I was actually born in Georgia, and we were 5 and a half, I moved to Florida. So even though I'm a Georgia peach by birth, I consider myself a Floridian. Number three, our latest puppy, well, she's not a puppy, but her name is Daisy. I adopted her when Brian was out of town, and I didn't tell him. Well, I kind of did. I told him the night before that I'd gone to the SPCA, or the Humane Society, and fell in love. What Brian didn't realize is that when Melissa falls in love with an animal, that means I had some sort of kismet connection, and I have to have that animal come hell or high water. So yes, I went back the next day, and we adopted her at noon when they opened up. And so not only did I adopt her at noon, I texted Brian as I was leaving the Humane Society with a picture of her in our back seat, and I received a few expletive text messages back about it. So it will be my last and final puppy adoption. We actually have 4 animals in our household. So we actually came up to Atlanta with 2 senior cats and 2 dogs, all of whom I adopted before Brian really entered my life. And certainly Gabriel's grown up with 2 cats and 2 dogs. And when we moved up here about 2.5 months after, I had to put my first original kitty, my sweetheart Lacey, I had to put her down. And so that prompted the whole trip to the Humane Society to see if I would be ready to get another cat. I was not, and still am not ready to have another kitty in my life, because Lacey is really irreplaceable and I'm not over that mourning grief process. But the puppy, we rounded the corner and there she was. Number 5, I love sugar, and I love sweets, and I love chocolate, and I grew up not eating as healthy as I do now. I have tempered my sweet tooth significantly, so much so that most of my sugar intake is going to be coming from fruits, and very seldom am I consuming chocolate. But when I do, I don't play around. I go for hardcore dark chocolate, and the chocolate of choice that I absolutely adore is not organic and it's not healthy. I love Milano cookies, double dark chocolate. So if any of you want to send me any gifts, double dark chocolate Milano cookies are the way to my heart. Number 6, the first time that I've ever helped anybody from a healing perspective was actually on a service trip when I was in college to Tanzania. We did a whole bunch of volunteering work for the summer, and one of my original experiences was working with Mother Teresa and her orphanage and her home of the dying, and that was really inspiring. And I would consider that the first time that I've done anything to help somebody feel better, or to minimize pain and minimize the grief that an illness is causing them. Number 7, on a much lighter note, I am a total pack rat. Brian can attest to this, and I've kind of posted a video, I'll link to that video, where I talk about clearing out is really important. Well, a lot of the times my videos are inspired by my personal endeavors, and one of them was this year. It was to finally unpack my closet and to start letting things go, because I hold on to objects and they have emotional value to them. And for those of you out there who get this, you get me. Brian doesn't get me. So My Packrat ways are being leaned down. Number 8, this is a big question you guys have for me. I delivered Gabriel naturally, sans pain medication. Literally, it was a primal out-of-body experience. I think it's been one of the most transformative experiences of my life. I'm gonna start crying because he's my soulmate. That little boy is like, he's just so amazing. So anyway, I birthed him. Ideally, we were going to birth in in one of the like natural centers, but I started to spike and get towards the last trimester. I started to have high blood pressure. We think because I didn't pop out so much, he was pressing on my vena cava, and that freaked everybody out. And so last minute, we had to make some major changes and I had to coordinate with an OBGYN office. And that's another story. If you guys are interested, let me know because that is a fun story. But yeah, so I birthed Gabriel naturally. Number 9, I'm gonna answer a lot of questions that I've gotten from you guys, specifically about how do I know Serena Williams? So, you know, the superstar tennis athlete, Olympian. So to quickly answer that question, yes, Serena Williams was a patient of mine. I actually haven't seen her since she's been back on the circuit. But in 2011, both her and her sister were kind of struck down with an assortment of health crises. Hers particularly was life-threatening. It was very public knowledge that she had had a pulmonary embolism. I ended up working with her 6 months after her surgery. So for all of you, when I say I know a lot about post-surgical cases and scar tissue, all of that, that's one of my core specialties. And so she was one of my post-surgical patients and lymphatic patients as she was recovering from that. So the side note to her being a patient, one of the times she was on air at HSN, that's how I was in her radar because my clinic was a mile away from the HSN studios back in St. Pete. Her assistant called in and said, hey, we're coming over. She's on air. She's coming off of air. Her feet are swelling. We're coming over. And oh, by the way, we have a camera crew following her. Do you mind if they come in? We're going to have to get all the release forms and all that stuff, but they're going to film at studio. Talk about a major freak out. So that movie that they filmed, it's actually a documentary. I think it originally aired on HBO. It's called Serena and Venus, or Venus and Serena. But we did not make the April segment, but we did film in April of 2011. That was really exciting. And I have one story where we had a new patient coming into the clinic. I think she was coming in for a massage. So she comes in this black car, you know, these like expensive, you know, Cadillac Escalades. It's all blacked out, like black rims, and you can tell it's like a car for somebody famous. And so it's outside. We had this like ramp to our facility, and we had a new patient coming in, and here she comes in, and Serena's walking up with her, and this woman, God love her, she held her cool, but she was dying inside. So that's a funny story of some experiences with Serena. But I'll tell you, the funniest story about this was that the first call that came in for me to do work with her and for her to be a patient of mine at my clinic was that I had my phones, the business phones, forwarded to my cell phone, which is a common practice. So, and it's like, I think it was around April Fool's. So I'm driving around, phone rings, I answer it, and the call is, hi, this is Michelle, I'm Serena Williams' assistant, and I'm thinking, BS, like one of my therapists is playing April Fool's on me. And they weren't, and I literally kind of like made a joke, like, okay, yeah, right. So I sounded so unprofessional and so rude. And as it turned out, it really was her assistant. It's one of her best friends. And yeah, so that was the beginning of my relationship with Serena. And she has gone on post-surgery, post-pulmonary embolism to be a powerhouse, not only in the tennis world, but also for somebody owning her health and wellness. And I think she has an HBO show on. Last time I heard, she had another pulmonary embolism after she had her baby and was very vocal and used her voice to ensure that doctors listened to her. Can you believe that? Like, so it just goes to show that doctors don't listen to us. So that was totally long-winded. I hope you enjoyed that little piece. But number 10, the last and final detail is no, I am not pregnant right now. That's been a question a lot of you have asked. And I know that a lot of women get that, a lot of pregnancy pressure. I don't feel that, and I don't mind if you ask, but I am not, and we are neither yay or nay on having another baby. And I'll just tell you this, if it happens, awesome, because that's kind of how Gabriel happened, very magically. I'd be open to it, but I wouldn't be devastated if it did not happen again. But on that note, I will say that I will tell you guys if it does happen and I get past the safety point, obviously, you guys would probably be the first to know. So that's my little inside scoop for you there. And I hope that was fun. I hope it was insightful. And I just wanted to share with you a little bit about myself, because I talk a lot about, natural stuff and protocols and stuff, but I just wanted to share with you a little bit about myself. So thanks everybody for tuning in. What one of these 10 items was unexpected for you or made you laugh? Comment down below. I'll choose one comment winner who comments within the first hour of this video release. You'll receive a Natural Health Resources ornament. And as always, I just want to give you my gratitude and wish you guys a Merry Christmas Eve. Mwah! Have a great day, everybody. See you tomorrow for our last and final video.